So who wants to hear what it would sound like if I was like 1,000,000 years old?
You know, why not?
Why not?
You're gonna do it anyway, so...
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
What?
Okay.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know. I don't know. Ask Mr. Owl. I never got very far without writing.
I've heard that before.
Get out of here.
You should all be ashamed of yourselves.
Jesse Ventura.
No one has to invite me anywhere. I appear as needed.
You're all parts of the liberal conspiracy to
Are you insinuating
To condemn-
a vampire?
What?
I
thought you
neither
said
confirm
you
or
invited
deny any of those stories, but could you invite me into your house?
I mean, I have heard Jesse Ventura lives in the middle of the desert without electricity.
Jesse Ventura's
So-
outside someone's house like fucking, what's his face and What We Do in the Shadows going, see me. See me.
I thought you were gonna go.
See me.
I thought you were gonna go the Salem.
Then they
route,
just switched the
Salem
channel to
route.
Predator.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking the same thing, too.
Yeah,
Um,
he's hovering.
Or The Simpsons, when they do the
Yep.
whole...
Yeah, hovering outside the window. Let me in.
Can you imagine Jesse Ventura saying that line is like a, well, let's just say you'd like a sandwich better if you knew nobody had fucked it. That line broke me in half.
My wife and I just rewatched that movie a couple nights ago. It's so good. It's so good.
It seems that the two Taika Waititi movies I have seen are infinitely rewatchable, which is that and Thor Ragnarok, which I think I'm down to like I'm up like watching that like once a week now.
Damn.
That's pretty good.
What We Do in the Shadows has kind of like an interesting idea about like what werewolves are, because like there are all different kinds of them, and there's like,
Seems like it.
and it seems like if you get like a little stressed out, you'll turn into one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very like
and then a full moon is a guarantee.
Yeah.
yes.
I like that movie's approach to who's the guy they bite? It's not Pete.
Nick.
Nick.
Yeah.
Nick's entire approach to becoming a vampire is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. When he's being chased to the house and he's going, "Hey, fuck off!" Like he's not scared. He's just fucking annoyed. Like,
Oh, I think it's more that's a New Zealand thing, and B, it's just look at these wankers who are chasing after him. Yeah.
Oh, Peter got him.
and then fucking Deacon.
You'll be
pops
my
out of his-
slave
and
forever.
Deacon pops out of his backpack.
I always
Look at
thought
your
like
biscuity.
when he's just telling everybody he's a vampire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I'll
Yeah.
Skype you.
I just love the fucking flat meeting is the best too. The point is, Deacon, you have not done the dishes in over 5 years.
You never put out towels. Vampires don't use
Why do you have to
towels.
clean the place up? You invite people over and you kill them.
I put down the newspaper.
Oh, I mean, this is kind of what we want to talk about tonight. Anyway, after a very long intro, hi everybody, I'm Connor McGraw. Welcome to another After Dark. Now we've discovered that when we don't have a topic, we just talk about spooky shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
For some
Yeah.
reason.
Yes.
It's kind of our just default, it seems. Yeah.
Works for me.
Who else is here?
I am Arlen
Disembodied
Harrow.
voices.
I'm Hunter Davenport, and I can neither confirm nor deny I've ever died on Disney grounds.
Well, I mean, even if you did, you didn't anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alan?
Hello.
Like you summoned him in like it was like a fucking like you had to think he was a
Sultry.
ghost.
Did we just have a seance to summon Alan?
I think we did. And I'm Eric Fedorchuk.
Alan's been dead the whole time, guys. I think is the conclusion that we have to.
We all see dead person.
I don't know how he's still making these bad decisions economically on the grave. But
It's because he made so many in life that they're rolling over into his death.
Yeah, they're like Jacob Marley. They're the chains he carries with him in his death.
it's just DVDs and video games.
You said Jacob, and
of Joey on DVD.
I just read they're going to remake Jacob's Ladder, and I'm like, fucking why?
Okay,
Why would they do that?
Why? Why
I
was
don't know, but I can't wait for them to profoundly miss the point.
Yeah.
They did remake it. It's called Silent Hill.
See, that didn't work the other way around when Silent Hill Homecoming was like, we're going to be Jacob's Ladder.
No.
Here's the thing. Silent Hill Homecoming is like the most depressing shit in the world.
Because there's a good game buried in there, but it's like it's surrounded by a bunch of questionable decisions.
Yeah. Also, the whole thing is like he's a soldier, so we have good combat. He's using like knives and like pipes. Like, is that what the army is?
They're like, oh, he's a soldier, so he's more capable. I'm like, I feel just as silly swinging a stupid lead pipe at dogs at my feet. a tank control system from 20 years ago. It's just as awkward as Henry Townsend or James Sunderland. Like, there's just, I didn't feel any powerful, any degree more powerful.
He's like, I don't know. Out of all of them, he's also the most nothing protagonist.
I don't know. I think Henry's pretty nothing. Henry's only character trait is that he might be peeping on his neighbor.
Yeah,
and you play as that guy. How's that feel?
It makes me feel real good. It makes me feel real good.
Are you doing Carl Panzram?
Get out of here.
I'm gonna go buy a yacht.
Like, James is also pretty terrible when you find out what he did, but
well, like James, you build up to it.
Yeah, he has more character, and by the time you've made that discovery, you either like or hate James anyway. So,
James
Henry's
is also
like
incredibly suicidal.
Henry's like a fucking Henry could just be basically like a pencil with a fucking smiley face attached to the top of it, and he just bounces from scene to scene to scene. Like, I'm in Silent Hill now.
I haven't played a Silent Hill game since part 3, so
despite Henry being really boring, is actually real interesting because it like borrows from fucking Nightmare on Elm Street, and then has a weird connection to Silent Hill 2. Like, its lore depends entirely on Easter eggs in Silent Hill 2.
Is part 4 the one that's all in the hotel?
Apartment building.
The apartment building.
Yeah.
And which is the one that was on the Wii that you didn't really have much combat?
Rose in Memories?
Okay.
Yeah, Shattered Memories.
That was the
one
that,
Shattered Memories.
Which is essentially just a remake of 1.
I know, but the premise, and I mean, I read on Wikipedia what happened, and it sounded really cool. Like,
it is cool.
The big twist.
Yeah, it reframes the first game as if Cheryl or Sharon, I can't remember her name, is like basically having some kind of psychotic episode as opposed to this really happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, so last week Hunter, you probably did the same thing today, but you went in a Disney fucking rabbit hole. Like the last week or so, I guess because everywhere else is just putting up Halloween decorations, so I'm getting in the mood. I'm like, all right, let's just spend the next 10 hours watching spooky videos.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was not disappointed because it ranges from real life stuff to laughable fakes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chills.
I don't know if this is a real thing, but
I don't know if it's real or not. My God, dueling Chills voice is the worst.
I still want to hear his mixtape. I need to hear his mixtape.
Oh, after I heard 10 seconds of it, I'm fully convinced that the YouTube voice is a fucking act because there's no way.
I believe it's an act. There's no way he actually sounds like that.
Yeah, it's so people can go, "What's wrong with your voice?" and then comment 700 times about it.
So you're telling me he drops Hot Fire on his mixtape?
What is his name? His name's Dialogue.
Well, he spits Hot Fire.
I spit hot fire.
Oh, that was good. I spit hot fire.
I dropped mad rhymes, and I'm very sick on the mic.
I found this video on the dark web.
First of all, Chills, no, you didn't. Second of all, no, it isn't.
Chills just hunched over his laptop on the dark web.
I actually saw I stumbled upon it by accident. It was a YouTuber who bought 5 mystery packages off the deep web or the dark web. I can't remember.
That's not a good idea.
Well, it starts off really interesting because like the first box he opens
is a puppy.
Like an Xbox One. No, like an Xbox One, like a couple appliances, like some I think a couple of like some tools, like stuff a human being actually needs. But it was like $700 worth of shit in this one box.
And how much did he pay for it?
I don't remember. It wasn't
$5.
that much. Yeah.
Jeez.
But then as he's opening the boxes, they're getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And then at some point, he opens this like sloppily wrapped like box/bag kind of looking thing, and it's just like used laundry.
I thought you were gonna say like organ meat or something.
No,
He
didn't get anything that like it was far too shocking for a YouTube channel to get, or anything like this like would imply that someone was in physical danger. But he got some creepy shit.
This is a picture of me opening the box.
Yeah, like I think somebody just sent him a knife.
Here's a ball of grandma hair.
Ugh. I mean, would you even know unless someone told you?
Well, if it's labeled grandma hair and it smells like
grandma's hair. Ugh.
And the worst part is it wouldn't be specified where the hair was from.
Oh, you stop it. You know, no one had it there. Not even you.
Yeah, I did.
No, it had to go there for him.
If it was going to be anybody, it was going to be you anyway, but why?
Because we're talking about spooky stuff.
Something else I've discovered whilst like seeing these alleged dark web videos is all these fucking red rooms, which I doubt all of them are real.
Remind me, what are red rooms?
A red room is basically someone who's being held captive in some room, and they're just like waiting to be murdered.
Okay.
I immediately go to Black Widow's origin story where she's trained in a red room.
Yeah.
So
she was trained in dark web.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I know, like people are like, "Oh, let's go." Like one of my friends. I will not name names because he probably listens to podcasts now. Is like, I'm gonna hack the dark web. I'm like, no, you're not.
Here's the thing:
something's gonna happen. It's gonna scare you, and then you're
as curious as I am, which is very, I won't. No, not even just because like I'm frightened. Because the amount of work that would be required to actually like start to get to the surface level stuff of like deep web stuff, which I think is like the surface level above dark web. I don't remember how it works.
Well, you've got
the effort to actually get there is not worth the risk.
Well, you have to know how to use the Tor browser, which is just
and then
like,
you got to find the right onion to go into, and just
and then you got to get like a super secretive, like impenetrable VPN and all this other nonsense, and like put yourself behind like 87 proxies or something. All to be like, look, I found a website where people take photos of dead kids. Wasn't this great? Yeah. I had a good time getting
there.
Yeah. Well,
totally
it's not the destination; it's the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, all my dark web friends.
Yeah, all these assassins I met on that website.
This guy mailed me a knife.
Strangely, they're all people from Florida.
Actually, it's funny you mention that because during this whole conversation we were having today about like gearing up for this topic, I found like the entire 6-minute and I'm not sick, everybody. I'm not a psychopath. I don't get off on this stuff. I found like the whole 6-minute video of the Miami cannibal thing.
Louis.
And like, first of all, you can't see anything. There's nothing to see. But it's everything else happening around it that I think is the most interesting. Well, because like 5 people just walk by this.
Well, it's Florida. It's Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when you see an alligator climbing over a fence, like after a certain point, you're like, okay, whatever.
Turn around and leave.
Cut America's penis off, please.
And then like you turn around and go, oh yeah, gator.
Yep.
Oh, that's just climbing. He just likes to go over to the Safe Mart over there.
And there's climbing too.
Oh, that's your Bob. He's a big old boy. I feed him chicken breast every now and then.
Yeah.
He really likes Jolt soda. I don't understand why, but man, we just
we leave out a honey baked ham, and it just goes for it. I don't know why.
Well, he's been eating all that runoff from the farm over there. No wonder why it's so big.
There's some steroids in there. I wonder if that could turn out bad.
He's got a third eye. And he told me he could tell me the secrets of God. So I'm not really sure.
Any of y'all watch The Bay?
Alligator has biceps, like veins and stuff.
It has a scorpion tail.
This sounds like a sci-fi movie now.
Got a tattoo that says "Mom" on its arm.
God damn it!
as it's wrapping you up to twist you into smaller bits to swallow whole. It's asking if you even lift.
Before I get back to the cannibal thing, did you guys see that video of the It was the dude narrating like an alligator farm where he throws a piece of meat in, and these two gators just get into it real quick, and one just grabs the other one's arm and death rolls it off of his body. The gator, being maimed, just sits there and doesn't move.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's going to grow it back.
I saw a comment it's in quotes, is like, how could you do this?
It's, oh god, I can't remember. It's the one video of the British guy who gets hit in the side of the head. He's like, how could you do this? How could you do this?
Well, the better part is there's two videos. One with a narration that I'm not sure if was real or not, because it sounds very convincing. It's like, he's like, you just bit your fucking brother's arm off. You're scaring the customers. He's like, what the fuck is the matter with you? But I remember when the Miami cannibal thing actually went down, and like everyone grabbed every story they could about bath salts, and we're like, look, it's an endemic or a pandemic, whatever the fuck,
whatever it is. Yeah, it's and
the zombie apocalypse is tomorrow.
Well, it's kind of
amazing.
I
was watching a TV show. It's called like Monsters and Mysteries in America, and like they had an episode about that, and they had a guy, and his the thing underneath his name said "zombie expert" underneath it.
Oh god!
And I was like, what the fuck do you do all day?
Was it Max Brooks?
No, they had Max Brooks, but they had another guy.
Oh,
I have no idea.
Oh wow!
Hold on. Who do you get when you also get Max Brooks?
I don't know.
George Romero was dead.
It's just this one dude who's talking about zombies like they're real. I'm like, all right.
Wait, Alan, which guy from Walking Dead or Talking Dead?
Talking Dead.
Not Chris Hardwick?
No,
no.
Dude.
Oh, I don't watch Walking or Talking Dead, so I couldn't tell you
who. They had a dude on who claimed to be a zombie expert, I think.
Like,
all right.
Cool. And outside of writing successful fiction, how does one become a zombie expert?
What do you do all day when you're a zombie expert?
Yeah.
Sit on the couch, have some.
You gather up videos of people on bath salts, and you disseminate.
Wait a second.
And say, look, it's an outbreak.
Is that one so defensive because he is a zombie expert?
Is Al the guy that got?
I imagine
we cut to a picture and it's just Al with a black mustache on over his beard.
I imagine being a zombie expert means you drink a lot of 2 liters of soda alone in your boxers.
Most likely.
Yeah,
No, you drink 3 liters from the dollar store.
No, it's not. It's not regular like Coke. It's like knockoff brands like Mountain Thunder.
Yes.
Shasta.
That's like me walking up to someone, pushing my glasses all the way up, and going, "Oh yeah, I'm a mimic expert. Don't sit there."
I'm a skinwalker expert. I've examined multiple skinwalkers.
Listen, I'm considered an expert on the Men in Black.
Oh no!
Stay away from that frog. He will turn into a Bigfoot.
No, not the real Men in Black. The movie Men in Black. I'm an expert.
No, the real Men in Black. The ones that are training us to be psychic super soldiers.
Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. The ones that are teaching us how to astral project.
Yeah, here's my thing with the fucking bath salts too. Like, they should start and stop at no, I won't do that, because why? Like, I'm not shy about saying, like, I've had experience with drugs, but I have always turned down stuff that I'm like, I look at it and go, no. Like,
yeah, but I guess,
like, what is it, like those proprietary drugs or like that shit you get at for a while, bath salts were on sale in New Jersey at gas stations.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a whole bunch of like shitty little gas stations around my area.
Right,
Jersey Wednesday.
If you're really addicted and bath salts are sold in a store, you don't have to go behind an alley, and you can get them for like, I don't know, $10. I could see somebody saying, "I'll just do this."
Yeah, because you're thinking like, "There's no way this could be dangerous. I'm buying it in a store."
Mm-hmm. Also, I'm incredibly high, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. How did I get here?
Well, that was my thing when I first heard, like, oh, people are using bath salts. I'm like, wait, those things you pour in the bath when you've got a sore body that you soak in?
I had a similar reaction. I was like, what do you mean they're doing Epsom salt? Why is that a problem?
Exactly. Am I missing out on something?
Yeah,
You're just going to have high blood sodium.
Yeah. It's going to taste like shit. I mean, do you?
But yeah, that was one of the things when the Florida zombie basalt attack happened. Like, initially it's like, oh, this is really fucked up. I wonder what else is going to happen. Then it's like, no, this was just someone who was really fucked up, and they made a really bad decision.
When I guess the true elements of the story, when you take them out of context, are really scary. Especially when you think about someone saying, "Hey, stop eating that man's face," and this dude turned around and growled. Which,
oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, dude, what? This goes down like an actual zombie attack. Like, I think the police showed up, and I mean, they're obviously just aghast, and they try to de-escalate verbally. They're giving him commands, and this dude turns around and growls and goes right back to chewing on this unconscious man's face.
Yeah,
so then they shot him, like somebody got him, and I think I read he didn't go down and just continued eating. And they end up having to shoot him 3 more times to actually stop him.
Huh.
Well, that's because he had junkie strength.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
He was real high.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. But when you suck out the element of no, he's on a designer drug. That's the word, designer. He's on a designer drug that takes you places you're not supposed to go. Like,
well, yeah. Go ahead, Arlen.
Well, so I remember being a teenager at this time, because I was at that time. I was still in high school, last days of it though, and I remember sort of zombies were on the brain a lot for a lot of people. And the whole idea of actual zombies happening, it was a thing that people were obsessed with. And before The Last of Us even came out, people were talking about the cordyceps mushrooms and stuff like that. And rabies. What if rabies mutated and caused people to become zombies?
Yeah.
This might have just been me talking about these things.
I can tell you what'll happen. All the anti-vaxxers are going to have a real bad time.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, they're all dead immediately.
In fact, they're the start we'll be fighting in the New World.
Well, yeah, we'll be collecting their heads and placing them on posts outside of our houses.
Technically, you are supposed to decapitate people who have rabies,
I remember.
or anything that has rabies, because it has to be sent off. So.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the thing. I grew up in a time when it was if you get bit by a dog that might have rabies, you have to get 8 to 10 shots in your stomach. I mean, I know they've changed that around now.
That sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, yeah. And that was always the thing that I read too. Was if something has rabies, they have to cut its head off so they can go examine its brain.
But Arlen, I remember when that was when zombies were enjoying an all-time high pop culture relevance.
Yeah.
It was only a few years ago too, and it seemed like everyone got real wrapped up in it and real bored with it real fast.
Well, Walking Dead did that, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Thanks,
that
AMC.
A show that explored it for 10 hours over the course of weeks, I think that killed zombies for people. Killed the romanticism.
Here's the thing. Why were zombies so popular?
Because they hadn't been for a while, I guess. I don't know.
They had their heyday.
Just the thing.
They had their heyday late 70s, early 80s, and then they disappeared off the cultural radar for quite a while.
Well, it's because
there's that bump in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
and then
there was nothing driving the genre. There was no big releases except Dawn of the Dead and 28 Days Later. 28 later, but 28 Days Later is not. It's a zombie film, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's a zombie film. I'm not.
It's disguised as one, but it doesn't follow any of the conventions of a zombie organism.
It doesn't, but it's scary for the same reasons.
But it was
that's the thing.
It was also the movie that then set the precedent for what zombie movies were supposed to be going forward.
Right.
Which was instead of them being these shambling creatures, it was now these running terrible monsters that you're I'm dead.
Fuck, where's I going with this? Oh, The Walking Dead. Here's the problem: is that they, the premiere of Walking Dead is one of the best horror films that's been made in the past 15 years. It's awesome. What is it's 2 hours, I think, isn't it?
It's an hour and a half at least.
Yeah, it's really good, and in a vacuum, it's awesome. But then that show just kept going, and since that show was the zombie thing, that show just made zombies so just non-threatening and a minor inconvenience. And then anytime someone got killed by one, I was like, "You're fucking dumb. I don't feel sorry for you."
And it added too much reality to it. I don't know. There's something more interesting to me about zombies that are in some way goofy, I guess. Like, zombies that are, like, indestructible and
wait, okay.
Yeah, the
Who
Harker
is being-
zombie from the original Dawn of the Dead.
Or Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, which has like disembodied body parts like attacking people.
Yeah.
Dead Alive
cool.
has someone's.
Yeah.
Dead Alive has a zombie's intestines come to life and try to strangle somebody.
Yeah, I always like the Marvel zombies a lot because they were just like, what if zombies had superpowers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which was always interesting
Yeah.
to me, but like, I feel like just when they're regular zombies, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's the coolest thing I think about Resident Evil. Like, the fact that it's not just zombies, that this virus leads to other weird things
there's
that
offshoot
come out of
virus.
nowhere.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do Resident Evil lore.
I don't know, but my counter argument to just regular zombies would be Train to Busan.
Oh god.
Yeah, but even then, that's something at least interesting because they're giving those zombies some sort of animalistic quality to them that it adds another level
They also
to it.
they
I
put
guess.
characters that you like immediately into situations that are very stressful.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they hold that tension for a long time. But I've always been fascinated with the Resident Evil idea of like some like abominations and zombies, especially how much it's changed over the years. Despite the game's overall quality dipping, I think they've always maintained interesting monsters.
Yeah.
But I just love the fact that like Umbrella, everyone knows it's Umbrella, and every like 5 years in the Resident universe, someone's like, Umbrella did it. Like,
Have you played Resident Evil 7?
no, not yet.
Okay, you should play it because
Yes.
there's some. Okay, it's basically Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I know the gist, and it's been a while since it released, so I
But
guess
it has some-
I'll say this: like, it's basically like, what if a T virus or a G virus or something along those lines it's accidentally dropped or it's intentionally dropped?
I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for you because
Okay, well,
it's
somehow,
kind of an interesting twist.
like, if backwoods people who are not part of the plan get
Yeah,
exposed to this bullshit,
that's a more accurate description.
yeah.
It's not. I will say this that the bakers aren't inherently evil.
But they're no longer human. So
I'll say that they got punished for making a good, like, trying to be good people.
yeah. But I think like the what is it? I think everything about the mansion in Resident Evil 1 is absolutely terrifying, and
Yes, and then
all the
and two
journal
happened.
entries. Yeah, well, yeah, 2 happened, and I still maintain that 1, 2, and 3 are all excellent.
Have you ever heard like the reasoning why the police station in 2 is so crazy?
No, but I love it.
The police chief is like an actual crazy person.
Oh, I mean, I like, here's the thing. Even if you don't understand Resident Evil lore and you're just playing that game, you'd go, why are there pressure plates in the middle of the hallway next to these statues? Like, who designed this building? Like,
there's a great like letter you can find that like there's like a cop that works the police chief and he's like, why the fuck are there so many weird traps in this police station?
yeah, the whole building is full of, like, contraptions and, like, these Rube Goldberg devices that open hidden bookcase doors that lead to torture dungeons or something like that.
I just want to get some
goddamn
coffee, Carl.
Universe.
Why do I need 2 pink diamonds to go get fucking coffee, Carl?
Why do I need an emblem of a knight to go get my gun? Like,
It's like that great
God damn
Professor
it.
Layton like webcomic where it's like, oh man, I just need to cross this bridge. What kind of Da Vinci Code bullshit do I need to do?
that's kind of what it is too. But like RA2 is like the whole police station functions like one big Indiana Jones movie. Like, you got to take this thing and put it here, and then take that thing and put it here, and then turn the sundial to this, and then pull the lever, this giant cartoonish lever that's in the middle of this room, in the middle of this police station for no reason.
I want to take a piss and I have to kill a giant goddamn
Yeah,
snake.
I went to go to the bathroom. I ended up like 2 stories down. How?
Yeah.
But I remember the tyrant scaring the piss out of me.
Yeah.
See, that was my thing. Since we're definitely going off of original topic here. Part 3, wasn't it? Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that I actually got the most creeped out by, just because Nemesis popped up out of nowhere a lot of times, and I remember playing that with like 3 or 4 of my friends.
I always thought like the dogs were the most terrifying thing.
Well,
The dogs are scary.
I have
yeah.
the most scared I've ever been playing a video game was during the first one when one of those dogs crashes through the window. I think I had that game for like 6 months and just could not muster the willpower to get past that point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary.
I love that became the language of the later games, though. Like, if you walk by a window, dogs will jump through the window at some point.
Well, Resident Evil. Well, first of all, Resident Evil. Here's the thing. I'm going to make a controversial statement. Resident Evil 4 is great. I resent that game so much.
Yeah, it ruined what was Resident
Because
Evil.
Capcom was like, let's take everything we learned from this and apply it in all the wrong ways.
And then they got super racist.
And then, and then that informed the movies.
What, Japan
The
racist?
movies
No.
informed the games, and I was like, this is awful.
Yeah, I don't know.
5 is so like, okay. 5 has moments in it that you're playing it and you're like, this isn't so bad, and then you like meet the native character.
Yeah.
And you're like, why would they do this?
Like, literal spear throwing African natives.
Yeah,
Wearing giant wooden masks. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. Doesn't go well.
I went back and played
Japan. They've never been racist.
I played a bit of RE6 recently, and that game is bad, but I was actually having fun with it.
Yeah,
I do.
RE6 is like 11 different games every fight.
Yeah, that's some weird bullshit.
I do wonder if the movies didn't exist, if the games would be different. That's the feeling that I get.
I think 6 wouldn't exist the way it
Well,
does.
Yeah.
Look at 4 and look at like the paths it was going to take. The answers to that question are very interesting because Devil May Cry came out of one rejected prototype of RE4, and then there was like another RE4 that was like you're playing as Leon in a castle instead of like bioweapons.
Oh yeah, that became Haunting Grounds.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like there's like a bunch of like already 4 prototypes that are different games.
Well, there's Resident Evil 1.5, which you can maybe kind of play.
Yeah, I've always like been waiting to hear like crazy shit like Bionic Commando Rearmed is just like a prototype of RE4.
Yeah,
or like Strider.
But I actually like the fact that RE maintained its connection to like bioweapons because I think one of the alluring things about Resident Evil is just gross. Everything's disgusting.
Yeah, that stomach has an eyeball and it's on your shoulder. Ew.
Oh, fuck William Birkin. William Birkin freaked the shit out of me every time he showed up with a new body part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then, well, actually, I like 5. I like specific moments of 5. Like when you beat Wesker, you essentially like throw him into a volcano, like fucking Kazooie. Like,
I was gonna say, you pull
well, then, like the people in that game who transformed all have. Like shark jumping, ridiculous. Like, there's no way all that stuff came out of you. Like,
I think
who's that asshole who like falls into the water and he's like, "Look, I'm 10,000 snakes with 2 arms now." Like, what?
Well, Wesker is supposed to be like crazy, like high performance virus, essentially.
And then he still turns into like an Oogie Boogie fucking mutant kind of thing with a big.
That's why it's so cool.
Everybody in those games who turns into some form of tyrant has to have the deadly arm.
Yes.
Where it's just one arm is organically weaponized. Whoa! Someone just died.
No, what?
Was that a body collapse? What just happened?
No, that was me putting my phone down.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
I threw it.
Speaking of monsters,
you threw it at Archie.
Do we want to talk about all the fakes that we saw in the last week or so in these fucking videos?
Yeah.
Man, that's some funny shit.
Most of Chill's creature videos definitely fakes.
Even the ones that are, some of them are pretty interesting. One of them he put up was just this like people gathering around what looks like a cage. And then like a camera slips by someone, and there's this weird humanoid thing running around on all 4s, like snarling at people. And I'm like, that's convincing. Probably fake.
Yeah.
And that's part of the discussion I actually wanted to have when you're back. Is what makes these intriguing? Is it like the fine line between plausible believability and complete bullshit?
I'd say so, kind of like, because like I think there's a
Yeah.
small part of our brains that are like, what if this is real? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Well, because also you're not
Yeah.
you weren't there. You didn't film it. You don't know what's happening. You have very little context to a lot of these videos, and it's for me. It's hard to understand the motivation behind certain kinds of fakes. Because
Right.
here I found this video. It has 16 views. Check it out. Like, why would you go to the effort of filming that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There's nothing to
Unless
gain.
you're trying to impress people for some reason. Like, we talked about this before, the video of the hands that turn into a demon. And it's like,
That video
that
is
was
amazing. And it's like, the problem is, the longer it goes, you're like, this is fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is clearly a special effects reel, but it's a good special
Yeah,
effects
awesome.
reel. So,
that
I hope this guy got hired.
Whoever did that.
Yeah, and there's another
Yeah.
one that I can't tell if it's real or fake. It's this couple who wake up and they hear something, and like they open their door and they're filming in the hallway. It's like a little girl sitting there, but she has her back to him, and the dude goes back to his girlfriend. He's like, "There's a little girl out there," and then he opens the door again, and instead she's standing facing them with her arms out, and then he just slams the door. I'm like, well, I would,
Yeah.
I would shit myself.
That's a reasonable response to that.
Yeah,
Right.
but if that one is fake, well done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like
and that's the thing that I think a lot of people need to learn when they're making YouTube videos, at least if they're doing fake ones, is brevity is the soul of horror. Like you can't go too long or it gives away the plot. Like you need to have just a tease
Right.
and then be done.
Yeah, and I think
Well, like the video
not have-
that is... Go ahead.
dueling.
Well, the video that's responsible for lights out being a thing. It's like 10 seconds.
Oh, it's 2 minutes. I think it's 2 minutes.
They made a movie
yeah.
out of that.
But
Yeah.
but that video is phenomenal. That's the thing. Like I think it
Yeah.
works really, really well.
It's scary, but like,
Yeah.
like there's a really good video that Chill's put out. I think it's like I can't remember which video it is, but it's like you're in it's like a night vision thing, and it's like the camera's focused on something like in a doorway, stuck in a doorway, and then he like looks up for a second, and like something comes through the door,
Interesting.
and like they run away, and you can't see what it is. There's something about that just sticks with me. I don't.
Honestly, the
so-
videos I find that he posted and what anybody else posted, I find to be the worst. In that because there's no doubt about their sincerity and how real they are, unless it's like an elaborate setup, is like security footage of like home intruders.
Mm-hmm.
That shit makes my skin crawl.
Oh,
Yeah.
like that one I shared with you earlier in the chat of the guy who was taping.
that is one of
yeah.
Well, that's one of my worst fears of like moving into a house that has like a creepy squatter in it.
Well, that's the thing, and this might sound odd. Like I think that's actually probably staged because there was a video from Japan, of course, Japan, where this actually was real. That there was either a younger woman or it was an older woman, I can't remember which, who was hiding in this guy's cabinets essentially, and like crawl spaces in his house, and coming out at night to eat and like basically use the facilities.
And the version that we first brought up is fake. It still gets me because there's this visual of this like gaunt, like almost non-human looking entity that crawls out of a crawl space and then sits on his table like a gnome or some shit. Like she has her knees all bent up in the air and just like quietly eating his food. And then she starts drinking his shit right out of the bottle.
Yeah.
And then he gets up like within like a few minutes to get himself a glass of milk or something and walks like right by her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's that one is just it plays on the not even on the unknown, but just on the intrusion of your space without you knowing about it.
This is it's your unconscious thought all the time in your house is I am safe here, and then like shit like that is just will shatter you.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
There's also other cases of people like secretly living in someone's home, but it not being in the end like a big deal. Like it was just a bum or something like that. And one of them was
Right.
One of them was someone found this door that seemingly led to nowhere, like in some part of their apartment, and then like there was a tiny window, I guess, attached to it. And these tenants were like, "What the fuck? Like, what does this lead to?" And eventually, they found out like it's the landlord. He got kicked out by his girlfriend, so now he's crashing in this tiny makeshift closet
Oh God.
Dude.
with a window. Why?
Yeah, I'd seen something similar that like people had been living in a house for a while and they found like boarded over essentially, or at least hidden well enough that they didn't know about it until something had happened to their
But
basement.
like, there's something inherently like horrifying about that to me.
Yeah,
Because like,
Right.
no people leaving your house, like,
Yeah.
Or just like
Yeah.
finding, maybe not finding a person, but what about those Redditors from years back who made that long post about like discovering a spiral staircase behind their wall that led to this tiny little room that was full of like, they said it was Halloween candy that they had gotten and they knew it was theirs because like a lot of theirs somehow went missing, like some snacks, like a sleeping bag. Like somebody had been there recently.
yeah.
But this like elaborate
yeah.
extra structure is attached to where you live and you just don't know about it.
yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Well-
I mean, a lot of times that story ends up being that like the prior homeowner had that built, and like one of their kids or like a family member that knew the people who used to own the house were using it without the current homeowners being aware.
Yeah.
And it's
So
terrifying.
a lot of
It's
those,
horrible.
no, the discovery is terrible, but I think some of the aftermaths are pretty ho hum.
Yeah.
What was it? There was that fucking video I put in the chat today too of the finely dressed men in the highway.
That
Oh, that was
What
so
the fuck?
weird.
That is the weirdest thing.
That's the thing, like, that would have worked just to be like, oh, wow, that's kind of creepy and goofy. And then you see the guy with the blowtorch or whatever in the field
fucking-
far away.
Yeah,
and then the guy with the
and then,
red mask.
like, a shaman with a devil mask walks in
Yeah.
front of the camera, and it's like there's
Yeah.
too much happening.
Mhm. Yeah, too much.
for
Mhm.
those who seek context, there's a video you can find on the internet on YouTube. It's finding it is hard because its description is all over the place. This dude's driving down like kind of a very empty-looking road in the middle of nowhere, and this guy dressed like what can I only describe as like Charlie Chaplin, with like a fucking umbrella and a briefcase and like
Yeah.
a bowl hat and like a suit, runs in front of him, and then he basically his headlights kind of hit this section of more of these people. Like
Right.
fucking
and they're
15
kind
of
of like bobbing up and down too.
Well, yeah,
all-
they're
bobbing up and down. They're all standing there, all holding umbrellas, all holding suitcases, all dressed the same. In the distance, there's something on fire. And then from like the left side of the screen, this guy with a staff and a big Satan mask just walks in front of the camera, and that's how the video ends. And I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck is happening in that video.
they
I don't know. Yeah.
they looked like a group of the guys from the Monty Python sketch from the
I was about to
Ministry
say,
of
it looks
Silly
like-
Walks.
The Ministry of Silly Walks.
Yeah.
They look dumb as fuck in that video too. It's like, why are you? It's when you take away the weirdness of like, what are you doing in the middle of the road? It's like, why are you dressed like this?
Mhm.
Where are you going? Like the Bohemian Grove? Like,
They're cultists, child molesters, who are instituted
like-
by the CIA.
who are
You know,
big
I
into haberdasheries.
I did about like I spent like probably an hour watching Bohemian Grove shit, and it became less freaky the more I found out about it. Also, because there's some hilarity attached to it. I guess there's a Nixon quote that someone recorded of him talking about Bohemia,
Yes.
and he basically it's very it's rather anti-gay.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically saying, like, I don't want to hang out with anybody down from San Francisco out in Bohemia. Some of the weirdest shit happens down there. It's the faggiest place I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
I heard that lots of prostitutes of any gender really show up at Bohemia, and politicians just have big old gangbangs.
Probably.
I'd read a story about somebody had to excuse themselves to walk around Jimmy Carter while he was pissing off the side of a trail.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. There's stories about people who have worked at Bohemian Grove during some of these things, and it's the people like our good friend Alex Jones and people of that.
And
ilk.
here's the thing, yeah, they showed.
That's right.
No, this is pre-insanity Alex Jones, who's like this very sincere-looking guy who's just trying to find like the truth.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
he's
know
the
about
one-
pre-insanity, but
Well, no, pre
better
like
hidden insanity.
like
Yes.
pre I'm gonna incite riots with my stupid bullshit, or at
Right,
least try to,
yeah.
and like just make stuff up. But
Pre-Christ.
he comes off, yeah, Earth Prime Alex Jones. He's talking to some fucking senator or some shit, and then he brings up Bohemian Grove, and this guy's like, I don't think I have to talk to you about that. And just turns around and walks away.
Mm-hmm.
But like, think about it. If like you're in a position of power, like, of course you're.
Oh yeah, you have the ability to go no.
Yeah.
Wait, Connor.
Mhm.
if Earth Prime Alex Jones is crazy and all that, what's Earth 3 Alex Jones?
Oh, we're gonna go down this route.
He's president.
Earth, God damn it, you fucking beat me too. Damn it.
To the point.
And Earth X Alex Jones is a freedom fighter.
Yeah.
And
just-
If you ask him, he's a freedom fighter.
and he's
yeah.
in shape, and like he's legitimately buff, and like everyone loves him.
I'm just trying to envision who in our Crisis on Infinite Alex Jones, who the crying Alex Jones would be holding. I'm just trying to figure that out.
Oh, Donald Trump.
Okay, I was either that or Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah.
But it's Donald Trump who went to Vietnam and he's like a hippie.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. He's a successful
yeah.
businessman.
Yeah, he's like that guy who went to Vietnam and went crazy, and he was
Son of Sam?
yeah. Well, like the photographer who's like his parents were like some rich family or whatever,
Oh.
but like that person came back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So yeah.
That's the thing, though. There is just enough weird occult stuff with Bohemian Grove that it makes me
Yeah,
wonder, like,
because-
if there's
because
something
when
going
you-
on behind the scenes.
Yeah, because when like you watch that video that Alex Jones got, like he is the guy who found footage from what's going on inside Bohemia, all these fucking politicians and shit. And it's a little like, oh, this is even Eyes Wide Shut weird. This is horror movie weird. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Like they're burning an offering to a giant owl. Like it's
They're
the
burning a
Moloch.
effigy, and like
Yeah, it's
some
a
people,
Moloch,
some
yeah.
people have theorized that they're like you can hear screams in the background. It's a bit of a reach, and that they're actually burning a real human.
no,
I don't know if that's real, though.
no. That's
Yeah, so here's my theory.
I don't think
A
so.
bunch of old rich nerds got together and decided to form their own cult.
Well, and like they're
That's what happened.
It all sounds very pagan when I start to
Yeah.
break it down
Yeah.
because like they worship. I wouldn't say pagan, but it's
Moloch.
got some kind of like forgive me.
It's a
everybody who's
giant
taken-
owl of some
Yeah,
sort.
it's a giant owl who's supposed to represent the goddess Minerva, and the
Mhm.
whole thing is it's the ritual of care where they
Mhm.
burn a human effigy in that they are burning their cares and their worries, and they're gonna start anew,
Yep.
And then they fuck a bunch of underage prostitutes.
and they fuck a bunch
Oh,
of
yeah.
people.
And then they order ice cream at 2 a.m. and get told, "No, I'm sorry, sir. The kitchen is closed."
I'm the president. I mean, whoops.
No, there is a legitimate story that something along those lines happens. Like I think it was Jeb Bush wanted a milkshake at like 3
Of
a.m.
fucking of course.
and they had to
course.
tell him like, "No,
God
we don't.
damn it.
The kitchen doesn't make milkshakes at 3 a.m., sir."
But I'm Jeb Bush. I'm like, really?
I'm
Like,
gonna be
oh, I'm
president.
sorry. Just hangs up.
I am going to be president.
But I'm Jeb Bush. I like that Supergirl girl.
It's the destiny.
There's the Skull and Bones Club, the Skull and Crossbone. What is it?
Yeah.
Skull and
The
Bones?
Skull and Bones.
The Skull and Bones, which is a real thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I actually don't really believe in these secret societies as much as because the amount of like resources that would have to go into these like super like intense secret societies.
And but you're also talking about the oligarchs of America, essentially, are the ones behind it.
Yeah.
Like we're
Yeah,
talking
like
oil money.
I actually heard the Freemasons are starting to not exist because, like, if the Freemasons used to be like, oh god, like you just would hush,
Yeah.
and now it's like no, like the Freemasons you find at your local VFW are just sweet old men. That's it. There's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
sinister
Yeah.
going on, and
Yeah.
the ones who hold like old beliefs and like kind of archaic ritualistic stuff and like the really spooky stuff, all of them are getting old and all of them are dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what happens is like you go to the Freemasons, right?
Sure.
And you're like just to check it out, and then the next day you go to the Kiwanis, and you find out that they're the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all
Or-
go to the
So,
VFW.
yeah.
More likely, the Greys are coming down and picking them off one by
Oh.
one.
That's right.
That's-
I have
the
yes.
Greys.
I have heard that there's people who confirm the fact that like Eyes Wide Shut parties do happen.
Oh, of course they do.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do,
Yeah.
but only because rich people like to do things that are dumb.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a fact.
Okay, think about it this way: if you have billions of dollars, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like,
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah. You know,
You think Johnny Depp doesn't throw Eyes Wide Shut parties?
Oh yeah.
Fuck yes, he does.
It's someone with like just an insane amount of money goes like, I'm bored. Throw a masquerade.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna rent a yacht, not even my own yacht. I'm gonna rent a yacht, and we're gonna go out in the middle of the ocean. We're just gonna fuck
yacht?
for 10 hours.
I could have sex with this person, but wouldn't it be better if I had someone build me an electric dildo?
I'm bored. I'm going to call
Yes.
my assistant so we can order 1,100 goat masks and we'll all have a ball.
Yeah.
That's right.
Then I won't know who I'm having sex with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I heard you say yacht. I'm going to steal your yacht now.
Who is this? Who's
Yeah.
Carl?
Wait, who is this?
Carl Panzer.
Carl Panzram.
It's like a deep cut to the last podcast where Carl Panzer just really loves yachts.
Oh, shit. I lost my train of thought.
With the Skull and Bones bring them up again, at least. Like, I would actually believe there's creepy shit going on with them, just because they are one of the few, like, quote unquote secret societies that no one has gotten any real information about. And I mean,
They're also connected to fraternities. That's the other part. And we know what fraternities are capable of. If the last few years have said anything.
yeah, hey, Penn State, how you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
or
also, there's alleged
the Prime Minister of England.
There's alleged footage
yeah.
from a Skull and Bones meeting, and they said it's basically a mock satanic ritual where it's all, it's not real, but it's still kind of rooted in creepiness.
Again, nerds just being nerds. Like I don't.
Yeah,
it really is. It's like a fucking LARP for.
So the people that first started some of these societies, I do believe that some of those people really were like evil or something. Yeah. Like they really did have bad intentions, and they knew what ceremony does. Like they knew what having those traditions can do for you and can do for like morale and things like that, and like getting people to really feel something.
That's the driving plot of the first Sherlock Holmes movie, is that Lord Blackwood is like, he's not magic, but he can make it look like he is, and he can unite all these people behind his cause because, according to them, he's a fucking sorcerer. He came back from the dead.
If you think about it, like it's more luring to join a secret society that might be like magical.
Yeah, like do you want to risk the one time you may get to scratch the surface with magic? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well, that, and I mean, if you think about who a lot of the people are who are in these groups, they're old men. Well, they are old men now, but they were young men from prestigious families that were basically told their whole lives, like your family name is all that matters, so you must keep a hold of it no matter how you do it.
Yeah, I've heard that Aleister Crowley was called like the most wickedest man who's ever lived.
And he's not.
He was just a con man.
He's a pervert.
Yeah.
That's just...
He just really loved fucking. That's it.
Yeah.
He wrote.
Yeah, he was just
there's one of my favorite things I ever found. I was watching an Aleister Crowley documentary a long time ago, and they're quoting one of his poems. It's just called Shelley Farts, I think.
Yeah.
It's just a poem about how he loves to smell this woman's flatulence.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
at this point, that could be read on South Park, and I would think it's part of the show.
Well, the difference between him and a Scottish author whose name is forgetting me from like the 1800s, so it's not. No, L. Ron Hubbard. But the difference between him and like certain like historical figures who are a little bit crazy is he proclaimed to be a Satanist, and a lot of these other historical figures didn't. Like,
well, Aleister Crowley, like he was like dumbfounded that people thought he was evil.
Yeah, which is weird because you look at his like legacy in pop culture, and his name is like it's villainous every time. Isn't he like the villain of Nightmare Creatures?
Pretty much.
Or at least like I think it's an Alex Crowley, something like that. It's just basically like an Aleister replacement.
Yeah. But he was like, he was just trying to live a magical life. That's it. Like he was like,
and any stories of him ever like using magic were bad for bad things. It was usually against somebody else who was using magic for bad things. Yeah. Usually, like he was kind of like a magic
Robin Hood
superhero, kind of. He was the real life Doctor Strange in a weird way.
It was just a bunch of gathering of nerds who thought they had powers. Like
with that line, Arlen, about him being the real life Doctor Strange, I certainly don't remember any Doctor Strange stories where he took a very rich young man into the desert and sodomized him while on hallucinogens.
Well, I mean, might be wrong. Here's the thing. Stan Lee would never let that go to publish, so...
Reread the oath, Eric.
A Victor, what you just said actually made something go off in my head. You said a bunch of nerds who get together and believe in magic.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many of those like fake martial arts videos have y'all seen?
Oh god, those are so great. Those are so great.
Those
are the same thing, though.
It is the same
Definitely
thing
the same
because
thing.
it's 100% a cult, and if it's not a cult, it's a massive piece of performance art where everyone's in on the gag. It's like pro wrestling.
Yeah. Well, it's like very high-level martial artists who also spend a lot of time studying and learning about, like, ancient techniques, so they must be, to some degree, like, hyper nerdy.
To me, it's like, it seems like old-timey magic. Kind of like, they're like magicians almost.
Oh, it's a performance version of snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
Faith healers, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's theatrics, because, like, there's that one now infamous video of like the old quote unquote Tai Chi master, where the fuck he was, who claimed he could like knock you out with invisible projectiles. Went against like a prolific Chinese mixed martial artist, and this old man got fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people got mad at the mixed martial arts fighter for beating up this old man.
Yeah, he was Wing Chun.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a place where they still think that rhino horn can like give you boners and shit, so it's not
tiger
shocking.
penis, all that.
Well, it's the American ones where you get really batshit crazy because the dude they based Bloodsport off of is like a notorious con man.
That guy's just a liar.
And that movie is insane when you like get to the end. It says like based on a real story. Frank Dukes went on to what is it? Like, they said he was knocking out, like, 10 people a day and fought for, like, 55 days straight. I'm like, no, the fuck he didn't.
He also had sex with everyone, including your girlfriend.
Yeah. And he has a fucking 16-inch penis. Like,
in between him and the producer of Superman Lives, it's a pretty good competition. I've won every street fight I've ever been in.
The story about that dude is fantastic. Because apparently he had to, like, he convinced his friend to go, like, drive him to this section of woods, and he's like, all right, come get me in 3 days, and then just runs off into the fucking forest with, like, a duffel bag, and then reappears 3 days later at this spot, and now the duffel bag is full, and he's like, yeah, it's a trophy in here. I won. I won the whole thing.
Little did he know it was just cocaine and a few canteens.
I won the Kumite, the entire thing.
Okay, but the Kumite, like, is the best thing to yell, like the chant.
That's true. Kumite, Kumite.
There's another one who's, I think he claimed he was a black belt in something, and just like ran around telling everybody he was master of this and master of that, and like he went on to like kill 2 people, I think.
Oh, good for him.
Oh,
good.
But
for
on a lighter
him.
side, every story I heard about Steven Seagal is the fucking best thing I've ever heard. Because who here knows what's his name? LaBelle. Fuck, I can't remember his first name.
Oh shit.
Gene LaBelle.
Yeah.
Gene LaBelle, former professional wrestler. I think he's dabbled in mixed martial arts. Like he has legit black belts in a few different styles.
Did he help train Bryan Danielson?
Yes, he has had a hand in lots of people's futures.
And also Rousey, right?
I believe so, yeah. That's why Bryan was calling his move for a while the LaBelle lock, because he got it from Gene LaBelle. But LaBelle tells this story about how Seagal walked up to him and was like, I think he says, like, put me in your best hold, and I'll get out of it.
Your best hold.
Yeah, put me in your best hold. Joe Rogan tells this story the best, and I'll just do his impression. He's like, well, Steven walked up to me, and he put me in a chokehold, or I put him in a chokehold, and then he said, I have this move, I'll break out of it every time. And I put him in a chokehold, and he threw a foot back and kicked me right in the sisters. But then he says, like, I guess, like, it didn't work, so Gene just kept this choke on. And he says, basically, Steven went to sleep, and then he forgot he didn't go to the bathroom and peed himself.
Okay.
Steven Seagal got choked out by a very old man and then pissed his pants.
Yeah.
He's like, to me, he just reminds me of like you're like one of your dad's friends who just like constantly just like
talking himself up, and then you look at him and go, none of what you're saying is real.
Yeah.
How much you better could throw a football up the mountains?
Yeah. Shit like that.
Like,
And then I think Kevin Hart told a story that's very similar about how he walked up to the stunt coordinator and was like, "Go ahead, put me your best choke, and I'll get out of it." And the guy's like, "No," like he's like, "Absolutely not." And Steven Seagal's like, "No, do it," and kept goading him. He's like, "Fine." And then so he grabbed Steven Seagal, put him in a chokehold, and Kevin Hart basically said he kind of slumped, went limp, and then you heard. And Steven Seagal got up after being choked out and went right to the bathroom to shit himself.
Theory. Steven Seagal secretly gets off on being put in the chokeholds, and he gets to then publicly defecate or urinate.
God, like such
I
a, like,
need this.
you ever heard like that? Do you know who Tom Segura is? The comedian.
Yes.
Like his like description of Steven Seagal, like that show he had where he was like a cop.
Yeah.
Like, just like that all the time, apparently.
Yeah. He's also, there's a story about, and it's told from the actor's perspective too. It's I can't remember what movie it was, but it was like after Seagal like became a Buddhist or some shit. Like after he went to Asia and came back, like I'm enlightened. I guess like, he didn't want to drink. He didn't want to kill anybody in movies anymore. But they like the script basically called for like this villain to die, and Seagal like had this like fit over it. And then tried to rewrite the scene in this like really crazy way, and basically they filmed it as it was, and they had this actor come in and do like ADR, going like "Ow, save me!" like off camera.
I figured it would be like the old Kung Fu TV series where the guy would trip and fall on a rock and break his neck, and like I had nothing
Oh no,
to do with it.
he got Nightwinged. There's another one I found that, again, through Joe Rogan. It's I love the movie The Men Who Stare at Goats. And for a while I was like, what is the alleged true story behind this? And it's way less romantic than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Well, like the government, I'm fairly certain the government is trying to make psychic like.
Oh, they totally have.
soldiers.
They
Oh,
totally
like-
100%. And I love The Men Who Stare at Goats because it seems like that is how just like stupidly the government would go about it.
Yeah.
Finding a man who's just like, I can stare at a goat and make it die.
Well, I feel like the government handles paranormal stuff, for lack of a better term, kind of like how Warner Brothers DC handles their movies, or Sony does the Spider-Man universe. They just throw this against the wall. Let's see if this works. No, all right. You guys take acid and stare at goats for like 5 hours. Nothing.
But,
nothing.
Like Joe Rogan found this video of this guy. I can't remember his name, but it's the guy who stared at goats. Like it's him. It's the guy the book is based off. The movie is literally based off. And he's basically one of these fake martial arts master bullshit peddlers who makes videos where he's like, no, this dude is way older and way flabbier, and like his skin is like kind of like flip flopping around like a chicken's neck.
I'll stare at a goat. I'll make it explode.
And he says like, I've got this maneuver. It's called like the fucking Tongan death chop or some shit like that. I don't know what the fuck it was called. It's got some stupid name. And he's like, all right, you ready? And then he like basically just Honda slaps this dude in various locations as gingerly as possible. And the guy's selling like, ooh, and then like he stops and like does a little fucking kata pose afterwards, where his limp ass hands are just dangling in front of him because he's ancient.
Oh my gosh, Shindaiwu.
Yeah. And then Joe Rogan's like, hold on, that guy's still alive. What happened? He's supposed to die. It's called the Tongan death touch, or someone, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But like, it is a weird cult mentality when you see like dozens of these people like on a beach performing this like fucking fake Kamehameha wave bullshit. They're like, I can knock you down with the power of my Kai or Chi. Bam.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't work
No, it
like
doesn't
that.
work that way. Do it to me. I felt nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I haven't felt anything in a very long time. Oh,
God,
I'm dead
imagine
inside.
imagine how fucking upside down you'd feel if you like went to one of these sessions, and like you're standing there like, yeah, try it on me, and like this dude legit throws a Hadouken at you, and you're like, what in the fuck?
Nothing is true.
Oh my god.
Now, just briefly to think about this. Imagine if it was David Lynch doing this to you.
Hadouken!
I'm gonna hit you with a Hadouken, okay?
You have to defeat my master, Shang Long.
It's real, I swear. I've been doing it for years. What do you mean people think it's fake? Fuck you.
I'm going to put it in my next album.
You can't watch it.
I
You can't
wrote
watch this movie on your fucking
Street Fighter's
phone.
based on my life.
My middle name
I'm
is
the real
Ryan.
Frank Dukes.
I saw. Everybody see that video that Izza shared, where it's like someone hacked Street Fighter to make it like an
Yes.
8-on-4 beatdown,
Yes.
where it's just the Shadow Lu characters against everybody else. It's not a fight.
No.
It's a mugging. Like,
And it's Balrog gets taken out every time. The first
yeah,
time.
like immediately.
Yeah.
Low tier, man.
Yeah, well, you send a boxer against somebody who can use their feet against you, you're kind of fucked up.
Yeah, what the
no,
fuck?
no.
How did that? The Street Fighter actually, all video game tournaments to me are hysterical because all video game tournaments and like the Mortal Kombat movie tournament, those aren't tournaments. Those are like round robin style kind of things. It's like Shang Tsung calls a tournament. He's like, "It's my tournament. There's no brackets. You fight. You go."
Well, like the Street Fighter is actually like technically a tournament. Like,
Is it though, or is it a gauntlet?
I think the second game is an actual tournament, and the rest are not.
Or like the King of the Iron Fist tournament, where it's like, here,
They have
giant
one-
man in leopard mask.
Oh,
I'm going to send
God.
you to New York, and then you're going to go to China, and then you're going to go to Africa, all in a day.
So, the in Tekken 7, it is implied that there was 2 King of Iron Fist tournaments in 1 year, or like
What?
2 or 3 in 1 year,
How
and
do
that
people
the
survive
events
it?
of like 3 games took place in like 3 months.
That's, you know what? That explains why Tekken 7 feels like we are stuck in the same time period, because no time has actually passed. And I love how this all goes back to Heihachi just throwing his son off a cliff because he had a feeling
Heihachi
he
would
might
definitely
be a demon.
part of, like, the Satanic Society.
Heihachi was like, if I throw my son off a cliff and he dies, problem solved. He's not a demon. If I throw my son off a cliff and he lives, shit, we're all in trouble. It's like, how about you just not throw him off a cliff?
Yeah, how about you
I don't
live
know where.
live with nature?
But it worked for the Salem witch trials.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If she drowns, I guess she's not a witch.
If she drowns, she drowns.
turn me into a newt. I got better. And then, Kazuya, all throughout Tekken 7, just sits in a chair and wears a purple shirt, and I've just been calling him Tekken Thanos. He just fucking sits there with his chin resting on his knuckles and goes like, every time.
I
he
too am
sees-
cursed with knowledge.
Yeah. And then, like, finally he fucking gets up when the character from another fighting game franchise shows up and starts wrecking people. He's like, not in my canon. And finally fucking stands up.
Howard? Negan?
Okay, that is I don't know how to explain that. Because why when Walking Dead was approaching its heightened popularity with the comics, why wasn't Negan in Mortal Kombat?
Okay,
Like-
I'd be okay. Here's the only way I'd be like, okay, I like this. Would be if it was just Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, it's gotta be. If it's anybody else voicing that character, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. But no, I mean just Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, it's just you unlock it, it's Jeffrey D. Morgan.
He's like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, his alternate uniforms would be, or outfits would just be from the different movies he's been in.
Ah,
One
damn
is,
it, I was gonna go there.
yeah.
You beat me to it again.
Yes.
He's just Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. He's Thomas Wayne.
Oh my
He's,
God, that would
his
be the
character
fucking
from
best.
The Losers. He's yeah,
Yeah, but Thomas Wayne is like fucking grossly overpowered, but he dies in one shot.
exactly. Yeah, he has a sliver of health, but he can also
Yeah,
kill you.
but he
in,
can also
5
like
hits.
deal out like legendary damage.
His projectile is pearls.
Oh no!
God damn it.
Or he just pulls out 2 pistols and goes like, in a different timeline, I use guns. Bam, 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 bam.
But
Tekken 7 has taken the award for the strangest guest character I've ever seen. And I know everyone like on Facebook is like, your game has a fucking fighting panda and it had a lizard before. Blah. Yeah, but those were created within Tekken because Tekken's nuts. And now they're
Yeah.
putting in like characters from external sources that are just mind-boggling.
The implications of these characters being in the game is like insane.
Yeah, because it's at least in Tekken's narrative, Street Fighter, The Walking Dead, Final Fantasy, Fatal Fury, and Yakuza, likely, all take place in the same universe.
also the Gone manga takes place in the same universe
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
But in those
And
other
also
universes,
Soul
they're
Calibur
like,
because you can Kumite.
yeah, but in other universes, they're like, what the fuck is a Heihachi?
Well, I can believe Street Fighter and Tekken being in the same universe.
Yeah.
But like, I don't believe that Walking Dead in Final Fantasy exists in the same universe.
Wait,
Here's the Walking Dead thing. Like, if Negan's in Tekken, what are they implying that like the zombie apocalypse happened and that just everything got better? Like,
All right,
no,
you're gonna
it only happened in Atlanta or in Georgia.
you're gonna have to bear with me for a second, but technically Tekken proves that Spawn exists in the real world, or at least in their world, and same thing with Link from Zelda.
And Darth Vader, and
Yes.
Starkiller, and
Yoda.
Ezio, and
And
Yoda,
a bunch of manga characters that don't
and
care
now
about.
Geralt from The Witcher.
So basically, Tekken is the Saint Elsewhere of the
Tekken.
video game universe.
Tekken is all in all is Tekken.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
everything.
planetary.
exactly. Everything is Tekken, and Tekken is everything.
It's like I just
Yeah.
want to go back in time and punch everybody in the nuts who was like, "Why are the Ninja Turtles in Injustice 2?" Well, now look at this. Look at the look at the
This
hellscape
is
we're
where my
living in.
parents died, Raphael.
Jesus Christ!
It's such a
Raphael's
great
like,
concept.
It was like, yeah, you're kind of a bummer, man. I still think the implications behind the Turtles in Justice 2 ending is the funniest fucking thing because like they go home to the universe with like meta pepperoni pills that turn them into super turtles.
And they just beat the shit
They
out
just
of Krang.
fucking wreck Shredder and Krang by throwing cars at them.
Yes.
I'm like, the DC characters just irresponsibly upended in their universe by handing all the power in the universe to 4 fucking bipedal turtles.
Why the fuck not? Sounds like a fun time.
I also love the implication of Sub-Zero being stranded in the DC universe, and he's like, all right, well, fuck it, I'll train the Justice League. I'm like, oh, God, they're going to be killers.
Also, Hellboy is in there for a hot minute. Like,
Yeah.
Batman's just like, yo, you want to like help me out in here?
Yeah, I like how everyone that got pulled in from other universes, because it's like their canon's a perfect place for that, because Injustice is all about the multiverse and like exploring it. And everybody who gets pulled into that universe, Batman's like, yo, I got a team.
What's up? You want to go beat up Mr. Freeze for a little bit?
And then it's even weirder when like the two, like Raiden and someone will recognize the events of Mortal Kombat versus DC, and you're like, oh my God, it's canon.
No.
We have veered very far off topic.
Yeah, we have. It's almost too far off topic to even go back.
Yeah, at
onto
this
it.
point.
Yeah.
I think I saw an article about like weird guest characters, but I don't know. Negan's weird.
It's the most
Little
bizarre
pig.
pull you could have, honestly.
Yeah. You guys want to wrap? Make it a tight episode.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Sure.
I'd like a rat. Maybe like a
All
BLT.
right. I would like a chicken ranch wrap, crispy. 5 of them because I'm fat. Not anymore. True story though. At my heaviest, every Saturday, I was putting down 3 to 5 sausage biscuits from McDonald's.
Ooh.
Damn.
Christ.
How
Are
I'm
you still alive?
good question. I don't know.
Wow.
This was when I was walking around at 240 pounds. If anybody can visualize that.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And McDonald's biscuits, they aren't like light. Like
No.
they're heavy biscuits.
Yeah, I actually to add that story, the very first time I bumped in a wrestling ring was like one of those mornings where my stomach was full of horrible food, and then I bumped in the ring, and it was like one of the first times I'd bumped in a ring in a long time, and
I mean-
instantly my insides were like, "Hi."
I mean, we're talking about bad food decisions. Like, so there was a thing in high school where everybody claimed that they could eat an entire large pizza.
Oh no.
I don't know why this was a thing.
Oh no.
And on the way home from school was a Little Caesars.
Something horrifying.
So I stopped by and I got a large pepperoni from Little Caesars.
And then everybody went to your funeral at the end.
Yeah, I mean that's how it should have gone because I ate all of that
Wait.
outside the Little Caesars. I didn't go anywhere.
Did you have anybody witnessing this, or were you doing this?
Nobody witnessed
You
this.
were crying and eating.
You did it in public. It sounds like a fucking Tom Green sketch.
I did it in public. That's the thing. I don't know why I did it in public. I don't know why I did it, and it was cold. Also, it was winter. So by the
really sad about like sitting at a picnic table by yourself, just eating a whole pizza.
God, was the fucking Hulk theme playing over you?
It should have. And here's the thing: by the time
I'm envisioning one of the people working there, like, "Hey Chuck, there's a kid out there eating a whole pizza.
Just let him be.
And again, by the time it was over, the pieces were cold, and it was just like
your mind.
See, I can like.
So yeah, that was a bad day.
Now, like, I don't do it really all that. I don't do it really at all anymore. But like, I have the ability to put down a whole medium pizza from Domino's because that shit is like nothing. It's air.
Yeah. Well, medium pizza from Domino's is pretty small.
Yeah, and
Their
then when
sizes
you
are all
get where they're alleged
really
small personal pies, you're like, what kind of insult is this?
When I was working at the school, I would get Domino's frequently, so it was like the only place that was open late at night.
Yeah.
Right.
I was able to eat 2 of their subs, like,
damn.
and I would do that multiple times a night.
Yeah,
their subs aren't.
The problem isn't putting it down. The problem is when it has to come back out.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
And I don't feel quite so bad because when I used to get really drunk, my favorite snack was a Yoo-hoo and a gas station hot dog. But I don't feel like nearly as much of a garbage monster as you guys were when you were younger.
No, dude. And here's the thing, like this, when I say I was walking around 240 pounds, I was like 20. This was like 10 years ago. It wasn't even that long ago.
Good Lord, man.
It wasn't even like my freshman 15 or something like that. It was the freshman 60. I ballooned. I was shaped like I'm not supposed to be fat. Like my metabolism is not designed that way. Like my body's not structured that way. So I end up being shaped like a fucking bowling pin with arms. Like I just carried it all on my waist and my thighs and my butt. And I looked like a fucking
You were Grimace.
Yes,
is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Like fucking Roddy Piper in like the last 5 years of his life, where he just had like a giant fucking spare tire. And like I was backyarding at the time. That was right before we had started getting like actual ring stuff in. And I was borderline immobile, and it depressed the fuck out of me.
Well, it sounds like you were just a couple bad choices away from becoming a juggalo.
Hey, one of my best friends was a juggalo.
That's fine, but
that's fine.
That's fine, but it still sounds like the origin story of juggalos.
Yeah,
Taco put down a bottle of orange Faygo like every time I saw him. But he's also one of the funniest men I've ever met in my life. And the story about how, I will end the show, but how my dearly departed friend Taco got his name. He was hanging out with a bunch of my other friends at a Taco Bell. Surprise.
Of course.
And he didn't have any money, so he just kind of starts bumming from his friends. But then their friends have friends come, and so he starts asking them. And the man who walked in the building with no money sits down with fucking 10 tacos. And someone walks up and goes, "Who are you?" He looks down, he looks up and goes, "Taco." And that is how he got his nickname.
That works. That's much better than it could have gone. So good. I'm glad it at least was a happy story.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. That man's funny as fuck. I did feel bad for him towards the he, like I said, we backyarded all together. The problem was Taco never was not out of shape, and there was moments we have on camera where there's lots of people doing stuff and kind of walking off screen or whatever the fuck, because we recorded it. Yes, there's DVDs of this. It's everywhere. I have several in my closet. But
never see the light.
In the corner of the frame, there's Taco laying practically unconscious because he does not have the wind to stand up at this point. Just laying there
This man needs 30 cc's of taco juice.
However, there's
that meant some Faygo.
I hope I can dig it up and actually share it with you guys, because he had this fucking hardcore wrestling match with some other kid we knew named Ed, and Ed for some reason just loved to take a fucking ass beating, and Taco happily obliged and beat this kid from fucking West Coast to East Coast every 2 weeks. It's amazing to watch. Because Ed is like completely, he's fucking okay with it. He's working with Taco, just getting like just hit with everything in this fucking ghetto ass backyard, and then Taco chokeslams him through a door that's propped up on 2 sawhorses. It was fucking insane.
Well, I think that's probably the only way that guy could finish.
Yeah. Yes, the
God
table.
fucking damn it.
Door. I'm gonna tell Ed next time I see him about this.
He's like Steven Seagal. That's why he and Kelly LeBrock had to break up.
I remember you, Max Panic. I'm gonna go find you and tell you the story. All right, I think we can wrap on that. I like how as these shows go on, everyone learns more about me.
Yeah. I mean, we're all learning about each other, so it works out.
I prefer to keep everything about me a mystery.
The more we learn about Eric, the more we're like, please stop.
Oh, this is all an act, brother.
You're bleeding into me though, because like Hunter posted that picture of Venom today, and I was like, I want to touch his eyes. I want to know what they feel like. Are they squishy? Like does it feel like fucking like frosting? Like
Applesauce in a plastic bag.
Yeah, or like old bags of milk.
Yes.
How do you know what old bags of milk feel like?
I was a dairy manager. That's my excuse.
What do you mean, how do I know what old bags of milk feel like? What do you think my school had for lunch when I was in fucking kindergarten or first grade?
Wait, you had bags? You had bags of
Have
milk?
you ever tried
I had bags as well,
Have you
yeah.
ever tried to stab a bag of milk with a straw?
It's really hard. It's difficult. It's not fun at all.
Because if you miss that small little silver speck in the middle of this bag, now you have a disaster.
Oh, okay. So what was on your bags? I'm curious because
Like virtually no label of any kind.
Okay.
And then just like that silver spot where you stab the straw, and that's it.
So ours just had 2 cows on either side, and then nutrition facts on like where it sort of bends.
I didn't even get nutrition facts. What does that tell you about my first grade school? I can actually tell you about my first grade school real quick. I was put into a building called the Mini School, which is a hollowed-out library with grades 1 through 6, all crammed in there with no walls, all going on at once in 2 rows.
Connor, were you raised in a prison camp?
Yeah.
No.
Were you raised in the 1800s?
No, I spent all of first grade in a city called Eustis, Florida. That sounds like a shithole, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
That's because it is. Florida. And like the school was basically a series of trailers and like this like kind of big old like pavilion looking thing that gym class was held in. Except the fact that the school had a brandy new, brand spanking, like pretty advanced library that all their money went into, and everything else got underfunded. Wow. The building looked like it came from a different dimension. Yeah, my first grade school sucked.
Wow.
Anyway, I've been Connor McGraw. This has been a very strange episode of After Dark Phantom Zone. Movie Dumpster Guyver 2 will be out probably next week, and I think today Devin's Ghost went up, and fuck that movie. Just fuck that movie. Really fucking bad. And I know Arlen saw Uncle Sam on Shudder today, and that movie's bad too.
It is there. I did not watch it because
don't.
I'm not gonna. But I watched The Bay though. That
movie's great.
That movie's
the
fucking
movie that
great.
haunts me to this day.
I didn't watch
Directed
it.
by Barry Levinson, which was just
which is
shocking.
bizarre to me.
Yeah. What did he direct? I'm sorry, I can't remember.
He directed a bunch of stuff, but it's all like it's very soft.
Yeah,
like
that's
happy
right.
stuff.
I remember hearing the director and hearing what else he directed. I was like, where did this come from then?
Well, and he was prominent in like the late 70s, early 80s for his directing.
Mhm.
So him coming out of nowhere in the mid 2000s with this horror film that's actually super effective was so bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And based on shit that's
so
actually
weird.
happening in nature.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like if Steven Spielberg came out with like the scariest movie ever tomorrow, like 10 times Jurassic Park levels of terrifying.
He just calls it 10 times Jurassic Park.
Or if David Lynch did a romantic comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you
yeah.
imagine a David Lynch romantic comedy?
I think it's called Blue Velvet.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you something. It's not funny.
No.
Nor is it romantic.
I keep having a dream about this man behind the dumpster.
Yeah, and then we're doing the Crocodile Hunter next. We took like a 2-week break because we somehow ended up 3 episodes ahead of ourselves.
Oh, nice.
It's still funny to me that you're doing the Crocodile Hunter. 'Cause
Sean's got a
it's not a
list.
movie.
Here's the thing, like Sean's got a list, Joe's got his vault, and I just let my pick inform the next one. So
Right. Yeah.
that's why we've covered
Ugh.
2 Frankenstein themed movies.
That makes sense.
However, that is
Yeah.
responsible for the Movie Dumpster Cinematic Universe and how John Hurt was responsible for every single goof in timeline. Every movie that's ever happened is a result of John Hurt.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. I think, AA Haro on all the socials and things like that. Lost Haro podcast every week. Black Mirror episode just went up today, so go listen to that. Yeah.
Selective episode, right?
Selective, yes, because as Charlie Brooker said when discussing the show, he never intended for it to be watched in order. It should be watched at random, so we watched random episodes. So yeah.
Okay. Hunter.
Listen,
This show's gotten so weird.
if you follow me anywhere, I'll know. All right.
If you do, stop it right now.
Stop. Don't do that. Yes, you could look forward to something coming out in October.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can join the Facebook group, I guess. Yeah.
You're really burying the lead here.
Yeah, I'm part of that thing in October.
Well, there's 2 things.
No, can we have? There's multiple things in October. That's the.
So, Hunter,
Yeah.
take your goddamn phone.
Wow. Okay.
Damn.
I like how
Got
that like Alan drops back into the show, just like cut 100 pieces.
I know, he's got some
Yeah.
Chris level aggression towards Hunter.
Oh no.
Alan, do you have
I can
anything you'd
take
like
it.
to plug?
Oh, I've got so much to plug.
Oh, let's hear it.
I did Smallville Chronicles, season 1, episode 16. Stray was released a couple days ago. That's the episode with the Superman song.
Goldfinger?
No. The
Oh, fucking 5 for Fighting?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
and that,
What the fuck is going on right now?
And we just got sued.
no, it wasn't 15 seconds.
next episode should be Reaper, where a guy gets infected or gets powers that make him. I don't even know what the.
What a great show.
Good plug.
No.
Alan, are you happy that you decided that you wanted to watch all of Smallville? Are you happy with this decision that
How many
you
more
made
seasons you got, man?
on your own?
Al,
Ape
when
five.
did they meet Solomon Grundy?
Oh, that's like season 10.
Oh,
And he's
oh
he's
no.
cameo.
I forgot that they did Solomon
There's a
Grundy.
chance I could be dead by the time you get to that.
Damn.
They also did Captain Cold.
Oh boy. Anyway,
Anything else, Al?
Yeah, I did a pilot or a test episode for something that will be launching in a couple months.
Yeah.
Or it was teased on Twitter.
Yep.
yes, it was.
Yeah. Yeah. If you that's what you want to call it, a tease.
I teased it by beating you over
By
the head.
spelling it out. I left out one letter in the title of what this is going to be. Guess what it is?
Before we go too far in the plugs, I just want to say follow us on Spotify if you haven't already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. We're on Spotify now.
Yeah.
we're in the-
Or listen
we're in the
wherever
big
you
leagues,
want,
baby.
but subscribe on YouTube. Definitely
Right.
subscribe on YouTube.
Yes.
That's right.
Or I will hunt you down.
Harrison Sheeler, I'm coming for you.
Al, anything else, or can I go?
You are free to go, sir.
Thank you. Eric Dorchik here. You can find me floating around the Phantom Zone. I will talk to you about comics or just whatever. You know, we'll chat. maybe not. Maybe you'll just be scared of me. I'm also on Instagram under Eric_Fedor, pictures of dogs and cats and food and comics and things of the like. And I wanted to end out what was supposed to be a scary episode, but ended up just being mostly about video games, which was kind of weird, with a quote, one of my favorite quotes from Abraham Lincoln, which is, "Anything can be a dildo if you try hard enough."
God damn it! Fucking damn it!
I mean, I think I'm going to challenge your authenticity there, but okay. All right, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.